And maybe we can transition to my first question, actually, that how did you work with content at Pleo? Take us through, like, how was that?
Yeah, so as I said before, I started within customer success. So within customer success, I was onboarding a lot of new customers onto the platform. And how I fell into video ultimately was, there were so many customers to serve, but my calendar was getting more and more cramped. And my colleagues' calendars were looking insane. So I started looking for solutions. And within customer success, when you're onboarding a customer, there's a lot of steps that are very simple, straightforward. I mean, inviting users, ordering cards, making a transfer to your account. These things are, and a monkey could do them if you just guide the monkey well enough.
Yeah.
So why not change a little bit our approach to onboarding and do a lot more proactive video?
Yeah.
And it went in a second that it made so much sense for both the customers and for us. So for me personally, I was saving heaps of time. It was uncomparable. Some colleagues that weren't working with video were, they were stressed and struggling and so on.
Yeah.
I was, it wasn't a holiday. I was still working hard, but it felt like it, and it was much more fun.
Exactly, and it gave you time to do other stuff than just onboarding, because, like you say, I mean, your calendar, you have 24 hours every day, or every day, and if you just keep piling on more customers, I mean, how are you gonna? You're either gonna hire your way out of it or think smart.
Yeah.
And how did you? So you used video. Can you elaborate a little bit more on, like, how did you work with video and how did you solve that then?
Yeah. So initially, I started using the screen sharing tools like Loom and like the basic ones that we had within the company, and started sending out Looms to my customers then. And then as I evolved, I just found that I needed another tool that could scale a bit more. And that's when I started looking into other video tools for sales specifically. So you can find heaps of sales tools out there.
Yeah.
They're not very often positioned at customer success, but the advantage of these sales tools is really that you can scale that process. So you don't have to re-record every time the same snippet. So the 3 steps I was talking about before, I mean, those were pre-recorded in a good quality and in a good setting, and then I would just do the 30-second intro. And that would feel like a personal video to you.
Yes.
And it would break the ice between me and my customers, but it would take much less effort ultimately than repeating these 3 steps, which I did initially. My first videos, I did 5-minute snippets of videos, but in time it became maybe a 20-second exercise to send out a video to a customer. That has to be compared to the half-hour meetings I would book for onboarding my clients initially.
For sure.
And there's also one little thing I'd like to note, that there's a weird thing with video where you create a completely different relationship with your client. So they actually know you by the time they watch your video, or they, at least they feel they know you. I at that point, I know their business, I know who they are, their name, how they look most likely, but I don't have a personal relationship with the client yet. But what's funny is when I actually take a meeting with them after that, you can already feel like that they're super comfortable. So on the one hand, I was optimizing the process. On the other, I was making them comfortable much quicker once we had that first meeting, which just made everything easier for me because, when you're talking to a client for the first time, there are these 5 first awkward minutes where you have to get to know each other. We're humans, right? And it was quite striking to me that made a huge difference on that initial contact.
For sure. And do you think what made the difference in that? Is it that you give it do you think the difference was that you gave it that personal spin, like saying, because like you said, like 90% of the video, 80-90% of the video is pre-recorded. It's like making that intro different every time. So I say, hey, Björn, so nice to see you and talk to you over the phone. Like we agreed, I just wanted to send you a quick video where I show you the 3 key features when you get started with Pleo.
Yeah.
Is it that like that I say, "Hey Björn," and I look into the camera and it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I could have done just one video and sent it out to everyone, but it's always nice to get that personal touch, and it will make you want to click that if you know it's been made personally from you.
Yeah.
So it's also a question of open rates and conversion here, right?
Yeah.
There's different ways we approach this, but in the email, for example, embedding the video as a GIF with a play button. So one of the tools, Personal, helped me do that really quickly by just copy pasting in the video into my emails, and then that would have 67% more click rates or something, which is quite a big impact. Especially if you're doing these videos all the time, you want the click rates to be high, right?
For sure.
So that's one part, but also the fact that you can see me waving. There's your name within the title of the video. There's all these little bits and pieces you need to just put in place to show this is a personal video.
For sure, and I think it's pretty much. I mean, when you think about it, it's almost the same as well. If you receive an email where it's just like a boring email signature with like name, title, whatever, phone numbers, you can up that by putting a nice photo.
Yeah.
Either it's like a photo is better than no photo, but then a good professional looking photo is good. Maybe it's on brand, like we do here with Phoebe. We have the purple background. Everyone looks we don't look the same, but we have the same style.
Yeah.
And then one up that with like having a little gift, because it's also an element of surprise, right? I open an email, it's like, what is that like?
Yeah. No,
just like
definitely, and it makes you stand out, right? In the crowd of emails. I mean, we all have hundreds of emails a day, and it makes you stand out.
For sure.
And there's one other little tip that I actually covered in a video like 4 years ago that I put on LinkedIn, but also just putting that little video emoji within the subject of your email can boost.
Wow.
I can't remember exactly the metrics there, but it boosted my opening rate quite a lot.
Okay.
It stands out in your list of emails that
there's
one with a video emoji.
For sure.
Of course, everybody starts putting emojis everywhere, so maybe at some point this doesn't work anymore. But that was a learning back then, at least, that you could tweak tiny little things in your messaging, or in your copy, or in how you design the email to make a big impact ultimately in how people perceive you.
For sure. And I see people actually doing the same thing. I have it myself. People putting emojis in their names on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Because then if you're tagged in a comment with several people, your name stands out because you're right by the emoji, right? You're not just drowning in like 15 names of comments. So it's an interesting point. It's definitely an eye catcher.